So the lists have been handed in, they've been endorsed. What's next for the Central Voting Bureau?
Next, we diligently check all these lists against the legal requirements. And then we allow parties a period of time in which they can cure any defaults that are in the list. So that deadline is December 1st. And after that, we have a public meeting in which we officially validate the list for the upcoming election.
That they're validated.
Correct. So at that moment, the decision is made or not. So, I had a question recently where it was like after the endorsement saying, also now the parties can contest. And I was like, well, no, they can contest once we have actually, kind of decreed that they're valid.
Right.
So that's next. And then, of course, after that, what I think maybe some people might find interesting is, we do have a public meeting again where parties get to choose their colors and their numbers. And when I say the colors and the numbers, of course, they have the colors they campaign with, but these colors are the colors that are on the ballot itself, along with the number in which they end up on the ballot.
And when you say public meeting, it's televised.
Correct. Yeah. So it's open to the public. The public is welcome to come. The parties are welcome to come, and it will be televised through the government page.
Okay. Great. So we can all look forward to that, and that would happen after the 1st of December.
Correct.
So we'll get more announcements and look forward to that from the Central Voting Bureau. And on election day itself, what are some of the main tasks that the main Central Voting Bureau will be executing?
It starts at least for the chair quite early in the morning. I had this conversation with the members. They were like, oh, we start at 8. I was like, well, I start at 5, because that's when, everybody leaves the government building with all the ballots and they're handed over sealed to the different polling stations. And then there's actually a police escort to ensure that there's no tampering with the ballots and the like. So the day starts very early there. And then, of course, as voting bureau, we are ensuring that we're visiting all the polling stations to ensure that everything is in place. Of course, we do an inspection the night before. But during the day, you're also going by to make sure that everything is going according to plan, that there are no incidents, and we continue to monitor the process throughout the day.
Nice. I know from previous elections, we do see that the governor also comes around, etc. And it's good. And people have been asking about election observers. Are you in contact with any?
So far, of course, we welcome any election observers. I think that we have reached out to some through the civil registry and previous contacts. So we're waiting to hear back to see if any come. And of course, but that's part of the transparency in our electoral process is that we facilitate and welcome any international observers into our process.
Good. That's good to know because, that's how we are here. We trust the outsiders sometimes more than, but I must say in what I've experienced in the last election and in this one, we're very, very professional as government's organization in ensuring that everything is done meticulously. In fact, I told Kathy of Civil Registry to ensure that the training takes place, that the same thing is happening at all polling stations, because that usually creates confusion and that was allowed there and that isn't allowed there. Really go through the guidelines and so on and what's allowed, what's not allowed, so that we can all feel free to come out and cast our votes. So you're new. And one thing I like about having some younger blood coming into not just government, but things like the main voting bureau, Central Voting Bureau, is what kind of improvements would you like to see just off the bat? Like things that you see, okay, we could do this differently next time.
Yeah. Besides looking at the process itself, I think maybe just at the organization, and one of the ones that I would like to champion is there's confusion all the time between what the Electoral Council does and what the Central Voting Bureau does. And I think we would maybe be served by merging both bodies. And
yes.
I think there would be so many beautiful things that the Central Voting Bureau could do with more budget. And because, we really only kick in and get a budget just purely for the elections. And, I keep getting asked, where's your office? Where's your website? I'm like, well,
we don't have any of that.
And, but I do think that the Voting Bureau in that sense, in that build, can be used as a beautiful educational platform for the St. Martin public,
yes.
To educate people about the electoral process, to go out into the schools, to go out into the different districts, and outside of election times, that there's just an independent source for everything to do with the electoral process.
Yeah.
And I think that could be a really great thing, and that would be an improvement that I would love to see. And of course, then we, as a government, as a parliament, those decisions need to be made of, do we want to task this body with different tasks? You know, we keep getting a lot of advice requests, and, you know, I constantly have to tell you I'm not an advisory body and the law doesn't allow me to. But, you know, I think, again, with sufficient funding and manpower, and that you could make, you know, the entity do a bit more. So I think that those are certainly improvements.
We have as agenda point for this meeting approval, composition, delegation, and provisions to attend the 48th annual celebration of Sabre Day on Friday, December 1st, 2023, under document IS/217/2023-24 dated November 17, 2023. We go over to the agenda point. On November 17th, 2023, Parliament received an invitation from the public entity of Sabre for members of Parliament of St. Martin to attend the 48th annual celebration of Sabre Day on December 1st, 2023. This document is registered as incoming document IS/217/2023-2024, dated November 17, 2023. All members of Parliament received a copy of this document via email. The proposal is to approve this work visit in order for a maximum of 4 members of Parliament, as agreed to, 1 member per faction, to attend this event on behalf of Parliament. The proposal is for the following delegation to attend this work visit, that is MP Gums, MP Rumu, MP Bijlani, and the Secretary General of Parliament. The proposal is furthermore to approve the travel arrangements for this delegation. The delegation will travel on December 1st, 2023. This is, however, depending on the flight availability. To which member of Parliament can I give the floor? MP Rolando Bryson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning to one and all. Mr. Chairman, while I will not be able to travel this Friday coming for Sabre Day, I do want to at least have the brief opportunity to extend congratulations in advance to the people of Sabre, and I hope that the delegation has the opportunity to interact with all the people there in our stead. Happy to hear that you are going, Mr. Chairman, and once again, happy Sabre Day to all our Sabrans in Sabre, in St. Martin, and around the world. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, MP Bryson. There's no need from anyone else. Thank you, members of Parliament. If there are no further comments, the proposal, as previously mentioned, is approved.
At RBC, we know the roles you have to play can change quickly. Whether it's a homeowner, a new parent, today's head chef, or the family chauffeur. Whatever life asks you to be. RBC is a bank for all of you. Win Christmas cash with a no-fee loan from RBC.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah. Your social health insurances.
There's no law that says cellular phones can't go into the polling stations. I haven't read that law no place. It would be kind of dubious to see a law like that appear now, after postulation, because the candidates when are going to war now, and if they want to take a selfie, stem lease, whatever they want to call it, is there a law that stops it? Because I understood through the grapevines and some of the school children, that it was abundantly clear that if they put a ban on telephones in the voting bureau, the amended budget 2023 will not carry the support of some of the members of the coalition. Fact. No hearsay. Fact. So let's see. Let's see what's going to happen after the budget pass. Because the prime is easy, The prime a good little slickster there, you see? So let's see what's going to happen. Because the last one with the cotton, she passed that without the coalition agreeing. Because she had the right to do that. So you see, the voters' ordinance is a law that was passed, and it leaves a lot of room for the Prime Minister to make a national ordinance containing general measures, an LBHAM, to make changes or adjust the law further. So she can't change the law, but she can adjust it further. Like how she said, we will remove the curtains now. Like how she gonna say maybe there will be no cellular phones. Because that was the call of the PFP, to ensure that voters' fraud will be stopped once and for all, and that people can vote their conscience, not take a picture and go outside and show what they voted. So let's see where that gonna reach, because I still don't know. Now, you remember I was talking to you about the police payment, the 8 million in the amended budget. Now, I read a CFT report some time back, and CFT was saying that the surplus for this year was going to be much bigger, 20, 30 million, something like that. And the government's man said, no, it's going to be much less. It's going to be about 1 million. And that's exactly what's showing right now. The question I have is, does CFT have to approve this? There's a surplus. So since it's a surplus, I don't know if CFT needs to approve it. But it would be interesting to know if that is the case, yes or no. Normally, I know they have always had to approve, but that's mostly because there was no real positive budget. I think in the earlier years they had, but at the end, never. Now, there was also a digital article by the Daily Herald yesterday claiming that the Now Party was sponsored by the political activist Olivier Arundel, which is a complete untruth, which our party leader Christopher Emmanuel addressed in a press statement. Now, we put this on the Facebook page from the Now, and most of the Now candidates have shared it. Now, why do I bring this up? I bring this up because of the way it went. The newspaper was printed yesterday with a long story about different parties with postulation day. No place in the story of the Now was there any mention of Olivier Arundel being the political advisor of the Now leader Christopher Emmanuel. No place. But in the digital version online of the Daily Herald, that was added in. And then you're going to be told it's a rookie mistake. They don't understand. How do you don't understand? This is your newspaper. It's online. They took it down now. They took out the piece of the political advisor, etc. Because this is ludicrousy. If this is what you call journalism, God hold our hands. Because this is not a mistake. Because the printed version was different than the digital version. How is that possible? So you're selling two stories now? Because that digital one started to live a life of its own. Because the haters of the Now picked it up right away and said, you see what Emmanuel and Bancampa stand for? Look, you want to beat us? Beat us at the poll. That's where you're going to beat us. If you're going to beat us with lies because of the newspaper, what can I say? But I will await the public apology from the Daily Herald. Because you all say you're an Antigua company. This was not a mistake. Let's not play that game.
The local health contract reflects the desire of the public authorities to deploy a healthcare policy as close as possible to the needs of the population, with the aim of reducing social and territorial inequalities in matters of public health. The CLS is a tripartite agreement between the Collectivité of Saint-Martin, the Regional Health Agency of Guadeloupe, Saint-Martin and Saint-Barths, and the General Social Security Fund of Guadeloupe and Saint-Martin. It should be noted that a first CLS was signed for the period 2014 to 2017. The CLS is available in 2 construction phases. A first phase dedicated to the local health diagnosis developed with all stakeholders in the territory, institutions, associations, citizens, and so forth. It is carried out using available health data. The second phase is dedicated to the development of the CLS, which must align and articulate the different plans and programs piloted by the collectivité with those supported by the Regional Health Agency, ARS, the state, and other partners. The local health contract must therefore be co-constructed and validated jointly by the collectivité, the CGSS, and the ARS, which co-finance actions programmed for the period of 2023 to 2025. A coordinator was recruited on February 21st, 2023. Her mission is to deploy, monitor, and evaluate the actions that will be carried out within the framework of the CLS and the local mental health councils.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurance.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurances.
At RBC, we know the roles you have to play can change quickly. Whether it's a homeowner, a new parent, today's head chef, or the family chauffeur. Whatever life asks you to be. RBC is a bank for all of you. Win Christmas cash with a no-fee loan from RBC.
This is not a Ministry of Education project. This is not a whole of government project. This is a whole of nation project.
Prime Minister Mia Amour-Motley asking Barbadians to get behind the plan to provide a bright future for every child. Her call came during the screening of the documentary The First Class, which tells the story of Crosstown High in Memphis, a high school seeking to redefine the future of learning.
We're going to see crime go down in this country, if we're going to see poverty go down in this country, if we're going to see youngsters have opportunities in this country to be whatever you want, and to be able to go wherever you want on this earth and still give back to your country, then we need a whole of country, a whole of nation approach. And there's no better time for me to give you this pledge than on the eve of our 57th anniversary of independence. This is our nation, and this is what it demands of us, from the young ones right back through to those of you who are retired. This is what we have to do together.
For government's part, the Prime Minister has announced additional resources for the Ministry of Education.
Some of you wonder and are panicking, but the Ministry of Education, them ain't got the ability to do X, Y, Z, so how are they going to do this? Because we're giving them. Today I'm creating additional posts for the ministry, and I'm creating sufficient posts to be able to deal with all of its facets that it has to deal with, from dealing with the realities within schools right back through to the transformation and the innovation that's necessary to carry us over the next few years to help make this real. As Minister of Finance, I have made the commitment with Minister Strawn to be able to put the funds in place, not just this year or next year, but for us to be able to have a sustainable source of funding, because this will be the most consequential project in terms of getting it right.
Prime Minister Motley has pledged to meet with the opposition and education stakeholders. She says the exact design of the transformation will come after the consultative process finishes. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.